Hey guys! Welcome to Couple. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. In his book The End of Iraq, Peter Galbraith writes that Paul Bremer, the American proconsul in Baghdad after the 2003 invasion, was absolutely convinced of the need to disband the Kurdish military force known as the Peshmerga. Then as now they were the only stalwart American military ally in Iraq, but Bremer favored a national army. In April 2004, Bremer dispatched a RAND consultant to liaise with the Kurdish intelligence chief and press the point. They spent days together negotiating and at last a deal was struck. The Peshmerga would be dissolved. In their place, it was agreed, the Kurds would create 3 new military formations: Mountain Rangers, a rapid reaction force, and a counter-terrorism strike force. But just as the man from RAND was about to board his helicopter in to take him back to Baghdad, Galbraith writes, he observed how important it was that the Kurds, masters of Iraq's largest militia, were willing to give it up for the sake of national unity. Some doubt may have crept into his mind as he then asked for the Kurdish translation of Mountain Rangers. Peshmerga was the reply. Had he asked, he would have discovered that Rapid Reaction Force and Counter-Terrorism Strike Force are also rendered into Kurdish as Peshmerga. This anecdote crept back into mind last week when I read in the Wall Street Journal that Donald Trump's new National Security Advisor John Bolton and his appointed new Secretary of State Mike Pompeo have alighted upon a clever way to reconcile the need to stabilize Syria after ISIS is gone with the president's desire to withdraw the 2,000 U.S. troops currently stationed there. Namely, they would make America's Arab allies stand up their own expeditionary army to replace the U.S.-led one east of the Euphrates River, and they'd also make the Arabs pay for everything. It's a strategy that could work, so long as the US doesn't withdraw from Syria and also pays for a lot. As Hassan and I reported last month, the previous US policy for Syria, as articulated by the now-fired Rex Tillerson, was to leave the some 2,000 US troops there indefinitely for 3 reasons: to ensure that ISIS, which is down but not yet out, stays defeated once it's driven from every last population center, to keep Iranian hegemony at bay and block the designs of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, for a Khomeinist land bridge stretching to the Mediterranean, and to prevent Bashar al-Assad from reaping the rewards of a war against jihadism which his incompetence and duplicity made necessary in the first place. Trump then appeared to reverse this policy in an off-the-cuff remark made in Ohio when he suggested that all the GIs in Syria would be coming home soon. Except that, according to US officials, the reporting on this rhetorical volte-face got ahead of the planning inside the White House. Trump hasn't formally made up his mind on what the US long game in Syria is going to be. He still wants out, but his generals want in, and if the limited airstrikes on 3 Syrian chemical weapons facilities this month prove anything, it's that 4 stars can still persuade a reality star out of his gut instincts. Rather, the president has tasked his national security team with tweaking or revising the Tillerson strategy so that it satisfies 4 main conditions. These are as follows: 1. The US should not be an occupying power involved in nation building, which has failed in Iraq and Afghanistan. 2. The US should not remain indefinitely as some auxiliary fire brigade putting out Islamist blazes caused by dysfunctional regional governments. Rather, it should get something that serves the national interest in return for its investment. 3. The US taxpayer should not be saddled with billions or trillions of dollars in Syria upkeep. 4. ISIS must never again be allowed to reconstitute itself such that it poses a direct threat to the US homeland. Trump, as you might have guessed, put great emphasis on the 3rd condition, which is why even before Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBs, arrived in Washington last month, Trump was insisting on Riyadh's financial contribution to this prospective new Pax Arab Americana. The price tag was a cool $4 billion, or a fraction of what MBs claims to have recouped by cracking down on corruption in the kingdom and tossing his relatives into the Saudi Leavenworth that is the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. The Saudis, according to Foreign Minister Adel Al-Jubeir, are in discussions with the US about sending troops to Syria and have been since Barack Obama was president, which is one way of saying that these discussions have formally entered into the inshallah realm of likelihood. Moreover, Riyadh's primary theater for waging its proxy war with Tehran is no longer Syria but Yemen. Bashar, says MBs, isn't going anywhere. Absent US military supervision, Saudi forces would be sitting ducks for IRGC Quds Force Commander Qasem Soleimani.